This is Blade Ball, and in case you have been living under a rock, this game has taken Roblox by storm, amassing over 1.4 billion visits, consistently maintaining hundreds of thousands of player counts, releasing only 4 months ago. We will be exploring the game's community, learning how this seemingly simple game managed to become the top 5% on Roblox, as well as player concerns about the game's originality, along with a former developer's opinion on the current state of the game that may be the cause of its looming downfall. Although Blade Ball has a very simple concept, combined with a fun and replayable gameplay, appearing to be a casual game to play on your free time, not everything is sunshine and rainbows, as every community has a dark side to it. Although the community may seem welcoming considering the casual nature of the game, they have multiple flaws, some of them being worse than others. Every game that has a decent following will have content creators making videos about it, right? Of course. The same goes for Blade Ball gaining traction, especially on social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Some even gaining millions of views and likes, especially regarding clips of clashing, where 2 players duel each other, passing the ball at extremely high speeds. But surprisingly, a lot of the comments on these types of videos have numerous hate comments regarding multiple content creators being accused of auto-clicking, which is known to be notorious for being labeled as cheating by the community, despite it being allowed by the developers themselves. Some chose to ignore it, while others have started to prove otherwise by showing hand cams along with their mouse and keyboard. I had interviewed one of the most popular TikToker known as Kosojin, that is known for making Blade Ball content regarding the hate that these types of content creators receive on a regular basis. This is what she had to say.
To answer your question, no, I don't really get any hate or come across toxic players. I think the Blade Ball community is really interactive and fun to play with. I can't quite say the same for other regions like NA though. But from my perspective, the Asia community are really nice and supportive of streamers.
Besides the auto-clicking hate which some content creators usually get, apparently the community is indeed very welcoming to other content creators doing comedy or memes on Blade Ball. It may not be wrong to say that Blade Ball being a toxic game was a misinterpretation of the whole Blade Ball community, and the player base can surprisingly be very kind and appreciative of content creators and other players alike. If so, what truly had caused the looming downfall of Blade Ball? Turns out that this isn't the only problem. We have to search even deeper and answer this question. Where did the concept of Blade Ball come from? Is it simply a genius idea? Or a very elaborate plan of taking a concept and transforming it to something much greater? We have to go back 1 year ago, where a new game on Roblox was released named Deflect. The main concept is to wait for the ball to spawn and deflect it to another player, which in fact sounds very similar to Blade Ball's concept. Although, in contrast, Deflect has no such thing as skills like Blade Ball does, and you can only buy skins for the balls that you deflect during the game. One crucial change was, although the deflect cooldown was much lower compared to Blade Ball, it had a strict timing of when you can deflect the ball, which made it very hard to get into and learn the game, and that may have been the reason why Blade Ball had attracted much more players than its counterpart. But there were 2 other games that had been much older than Deflect and Blade Ball. We have to go further back to January 2020, where Genji Ball was made. Genji Ball was a community game mode on Overwatch where the concept is the same as Blade Ball and Deflect, but there are no cosmetic purchases, skills, or even different avatars and characters. Some also say that the very founder of this concept was Pyro Ball, also known as TF2 Dodgeball. Even with its outdated graphics, it still has yet to fail in captivating players into trying it out. Although it was a very popular game, it doesn't have much of an active player base as Genji Ball. While a lot of players hate the idea of a concept being stolen, with numerous people calling Blade Ball a copycat, majority of the players generally doesn't care as long as the game has transformed the concept into something more enjoyable. Although this may have put off a lot of players into trying out Blade Ball due to its unoriginal concept, it simply isn't enough for it to be the cause of its demise. So, what really is the reason for its looming downfall? I asked one of the former developers any info they had about the game, and got an unexpected response. He responded.
Back then, when the game was smaller, the community was good, and the game was good, but as it slowly started to grow, Chunch got hungry for money. That's why everything is pay to win now.
Although, with the apparent start of Blade Ball and its humble beginnings, it would soon be known to flourish for its very unique take on a Roblox game, giving players a sense of accomplishment for learning various mechanics throughout the game. combined with the cosmetics and skills you can grind for gold, which can be earned by playing the game with increased rewards for winning rounds. What once was an honest game started to crumble, putting in outrageous amounts of purchases such as the Battle Pass and event packs, which may be fine if they were all cosmetics such as blade skins. Blade Ball had started to release abilities that were only available to be obtained through Robux, a currency in which you spend real money to obtain. Some abilities with extremely strong capabilities such as Infinity, where the ball stops around the player for 15 seconds and hovers around, which is then broken by pressing the left click button, causing the ball to bounce back to the opponent, making a lot of players upset due to the very unfair ability, only being able to be obtained through real money unless you were extremely lucky to get it without affording Robux with the unfair percentages. A lot of the old players became furious to what the game had become due to its explosive growth in popularity, while content creators even finding it to be a huge problem to the current state of the game. The downfall had been set in stone as soon as the game had become pay to win, riddled full of in-game transactions, along with different developers making a game with a similar concept of their own while putting their own twist into it, with the goal of trying to surpass the overwhelming success of Blade Ball, combined with a lack of understanding of the game's design, allowing auto-clickers to easily win games. With a lot questioning its own originality and the unquestionable pay-to-win transactions, Blade Ball had been caught in the trap with an unavoidable decrease of players. Something will need to change to the design and management of the game. The question is, what had caused such a game to soon become full of pay-to-win transactions, slowly making the game harder and harder to win without spending actual money? Was it a miscommunication within the developer team, or a clear lack of understanding of the game's vision? Was it the lack of proper care towards the game's future? Or was it simply greed from what had possibly become one of the most liked and respected games due to its unique and brave decision to create something new with its humble beginnings, to becoming one of the most pay-to-win games on Roblox with an inescapable downfall due to the fierce competition Roblox has to offer? This is how Blade Ball destroyed its community.